Greetings, listener. Please enjoy the unintelligible ramblings of your favorite dynamic trio, Arva, Farah, and Westy, as they share their hottest takes on the future of gaming's worst. Welcome to The Unintelligibles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unintelligibles. I'm Westy. I'm your host for today, because, man, I had the worst coworker in the last episode. I've earned this. Fuck you, Paul. And I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-hosts, Arva and Farah.
Hello.
Hello.
How have you two been?
I'm sick.
Tired.
Well, that sucks on both accounts. What are you sick with? Got like a flu, or is it like...
It's just a head cold for like the last 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, at least that's pretty manageable. That's not like you got the bronchitis kind of thing.
Yeah, no. It's just a mild inconvenience.
Yeah, that's not
Right.
the worst. Well, I don't know, I've been having a pretty shitty week. It's hilarious from the outside perspective, but we'll start with the genuinely bad stuff. On like Thursday, our stupid ops manager just sent an email like, by the way, 10 hours mandatory overtime next week too. And everyone's confused because we're out of tax season. We're out of the season. We're supposed to be out of this. So now for the next 2 weeks, we got to do 10 hours of mandatory overtime. And I think it's because she doesn't understand how to run it, because she came from a call collection center. So she doesn't understand, yo, what are you doing? This doesn't make sense anymore. So that sucks. On the shittier note that you're all going to laugh at, it finally happened. I started up our Roomba, and an animal took a shit in front of it.
Let's go! Yeah!
It makes it worse because we have a vacuum mopping Roomba. So it didn't just smear it, it wetted it down, washed that turd, and just made a streak all the way across.
Yeah!
No.
Let's go!
So I had to pick up that, because it was weird, because we didn't see it, because we walked around, we picked everything up, we made sure there was nothing that was going to get stuck on or nothing was going to, take. And let it run. It went through the living room just fine. And when it came back from the kitchen, it was just like, what is that? That looks like poop. And we go look, and we're like, oh my God. So I had to mop the kitchen, take Roomba
So much
apart.
for smart robot.
An animal just had to go shit in front of it. Couldn't identify the poop. Basically disassembled, washed that robot. I had to order all replacement parts that should be here today. And throw everything that was disposable away and just boil the rest in soap water. That is a horrible experience. If you never experienced a Roomba mopping a turd across your house, count yourself lucky. Truly awful.
No, I do not have a...
If you don't have a Roomba, they're pretty fucking awesome. You should get a Roomba. I love this little guy. Minus what he did the other day.
Right.
That wasn't his fault.
Well, sounds like you had a good week.
No. Awful. Truly. Anyway, that has nothing to do with today's topic. I just wanted to bring that up because it was... it was really just one of those instances of
Yeah.
it's funny to everyone else, and it's kind of funny now. But at the time, it was like, motherfucker. You know the worst part? we didn't have any like mop pads, so I had to get little Clorox pads and stretch them across the mop and just use those. It makes it even funnier when you just imagine that, but I have good humor about it. Anyway, today's topic is totally different. We are going to talk about something we've clearly never talked about on this show before.
Is it video games?
It is video games.
Oh my god!
It is very specifically, I want your top 5. I'm going to do 5, see if that should fill it. My top 5 video game series that just need to end. That they need to stop. You don't want any more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to give you some time to kind of look and think, maybe kind of get some things in order. I'm going to kick it off with my number 5. It's more or less going to be a discussion. And whoever's list I agree with more, I'll kind of go from there for a winner. But
I don't
for
know
my
video game series. It'll be bad for me.
quick Google, just a quick Google, you got this.
I'm doing it right now.
So my number 5, and it's gonna go from like 5 is the one where you could be like, I could take it or leave it, to number 1 being like, please, I will sell you my left lung to never see this game again. Number 5 for me is Pokemon. And I used to love Pokemon. I used to play like the first and second generation games all the time. But it's kind of gone in a weird direction. It's not even really the same game anymore. While at the same time the gameplay has never changed. I know it's people, well, now you can have doubles and there's mega. No, those are just like gimmicks. The main gameplay loop is still the same for over 20 years. Like nothing in the actual core has changed. They've just added a few different things here and there, but you're still playing the exact same game you were in the 90s. The names have changed, the graphics have updated, but like the actual gameplay, it's still the same. So I liked Pokemon, and again, that's why it's number 5. It's like I honestly don't care if it's still here or not, but I kind of prefer it if I just did not encounter another Pokemon game.
I think that's valid, especially because the quality's gone down a lot in the newer games too.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
I haven't played any of the newer games, but I watch people play them. I always support my buddies on Twitch, even if I can't be as vocal anymore. But fucking work mandatory bullshit. No fun. Anyway, I gotta stop playing about that. Anyway, it's really just a stat game at the end of the day. It's the same feeling I get when I hear people talk about baseball at this point. Like, oh, but the stats on this one are so good. Oh, but you can get this one up to special attack 99 and blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool. Cool. I love a game about statistics and probability. That's nice. Good job getting that shiny. That's my number 5.
Yeah.
I made my list. Ready. I'm sorry, I
God.
really concentrated on making my list. I was like,
She really did. Damn. All right. Do you want a coin flip to see who goes first, or do you want to decide who's going?
Please Farrah first. Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, Farrah first. Arvin's gonna
Me
make his
first.
list now.
Okay.
So Farrah, what is your number 5?
Number 5, Burger King food lettuce.
All right, Farrah's number 5.
Number 5. Number 5 is Halo. They've fucking ruined it and never made another good game. They have like some. I love Halo. I am a Halo enjoyer up to about Halo 4, and I think that's the same for everybody else who plays Halo. Everything after Halo 4 is like really bad. The most recent Halo game, because they completely abandoned the storyline that they were going for it, which everybody hated, was actually better. But it still wasn't good. I think Halo is past its prime. And they're probably never going to make another good Halo game, I don't think.
You know, I do agree story-wise, Halo should have probably ended around 3. Because that one told its story. Like it was done.
Yeah.
4 was good. Story, if I'm remembering 4 right, was still kind of weird because wasn't that where Cortana was corrupted?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
the thing is, like, the storyline was fine in the comics. I think the comics was good, but then they didn't Bungie did not go based on the comics. They were like, let's put our own spin on it. And then their spin sucked.
Yeah,
It was bad.
that's kind of what happens in development though when you have different cross medias.
They just completely ruined precursors. Completely. They're just the worst ever possible thing they could do to it. They like I said, the most recent game they brought it back a little bit because they didn't focus on precursors. They went with Monkey, and I thought that was better. But I just don't think that there's gonna be another good Halo game. I think we've gotten.
I'm not gonna
I
lie
think
to you. I haven't played a Halo game past I think it was Halo 5 because I played that one. I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with this.
well, that's because Halo 5 is the worst Halo game. Period.
Yeah, it was. It was so bad.
It's really bad. It's so bad. I've played the first 3. I've watched playthroughs of all of Halo's games. And I'll probably watch a playthrough of whatever new Halo game they come out with because let's be real, they're gonna make another one.
Oh
They'll
yeah.
probably continue to make them for a long time. They really don't need to because like Master Chief Collection has a pretty decently active online community. So there's not really like and people who like Halo, the games have a lot of replayability. Not because there's difference in the story or anything. It's just people enjoy the story and enjoy playing Halo enough that if you're a Halo fan, you just enjoy replaying the games over and over again. Even though it's the same game every time. It's a linear story. So, I don't know. I don't see need for a new Halo game.
You know what? That's fair. All right. I fully agree with that. So Arva, what is your number 5?
I know some of my higher ranking ones because they're fucking annoying, but I don't know the lower ranked ones. Oh, I had one. It was on the tip of my tongue. What was it?
Describe it.
Number 5. I think I'm gonna say Fallout.
Yeah, I
Because
was debating Fallout too.
Fallout peaked with New Vegas, and then they released 4, which like wasn't terrible. 4 is okay, but then when you compare it to New Vegas, it's pretty shit. And I think I beat that game in like less than a day. To be fair, I didn't do any of the side quests or like a little bit of them, and I did the main storyline, but like I beat that shit so quickly, it felt really unfulfilled.
Well,
And
to
I was
be
like, oh.
fair, the Bethesda games were never about the main quest. They're more about the world.
No, but like
I get what you're saying,
Fallout 4
but
doesn't have like any world building.
no, it does not.
Whatever it
really
does is like
doesn't.
it's really rushed and like confusing and convoluted and like doesn't feel like you have much of an effect. Whereas like New Vegas, I don't know, New Vegas had much more atmosphere and like you felt like you actually kind of mattered in the world and what you did mattered more. And then I didn't even try Fallout 76. I've heard that game's good now, but like
It
that
kind
took
of had
like
the No
years.
Man's Sky effect of where it released and it was
Yeah.
bad, but then they made it better. I haven't tried it either, and I don't want to because of that, because I don't want to reward bad behavior, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no. I'm the same way. I don't know. Also,
I
it
am
doesn't really
curious,
interest
though.
me too much, like being fully online. I don't know, or
You can play it solo. Like, it's totally
oh,
100% solo game. You don't have to have friends to do it. Because they made that like an update thing, and that's why I was kind of on the fence of like, I almost want to try it, but at the same time, I don't really care enough about 76.
Yeah, okay, that does make it a little bit better, but I'm the same way. I still don't really I still don't think I want to I want to play it. And that's the thing that sucks is like I love Fallout. I love all the prior Fallouts. New Vegas is my favorite, obviously.
Have you played the original
Um,
Fallout though?
no, that was a little bit before my time. Just a little bit.
That game is hard as
I've
just
heard that was really hard. Yeah, I should. I should really play that one and a few of the older ones because I've played a little bit of 3 and I played a lot of New Vegas.
So 1 and 2 have the absolute best world building, but they also have the mechanic that you never see anymore. It's time based. So if you take too long to do stuff,
Oh
like
yeah.
you lose
Oh.
places and you lose allies or you lose locations you can go to. So you have to like really be going, or you may not have any friends to help you at one point.
Right.
That's like
Ooh.
that makes sense for like a small open world like oh, what's the game, the zombie game in the mall that I really really like?
Dead Rising.
Yeah, Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Dead Rising is a small open world game, but I don't know what Fallout like the original Fallout is, but the later Fallouts are humongous.
I mean, the
feel like
first
that would
one is
suck.
like they do it in a kind of way where like if you're in the wasteland, it's more like a Pokemon system, but you'll have a random encounter, but you can run. You can like go to the edge of the screen and escape because you're not supposed to fight every encounter. You're supposed to survive.
Right.
Or I
Interesting.
guess it's like an older Final Fantasy thing where you're like walking in the world and then you get the random encounter and it kind of turns into a top-down Baldur's Gate 3 but old school combat mechanic. But I kind of want them to do one more Fallout, like an actual Fallout, just to see.
To see, yeah.
I'm okay with like it's the always the Americana setting, but I'm kind of tired of locations that they've done. Like New California was the first one, and New California was the second one. Third one was DC. I want to see somewhere like really fucking unhinged. I want to see
Yeah.
somewhere like Florida.
Yeah, please. Why haven't we done or Ohio, like Ohio or Florida, please? Come on.
I think
A Fallout game in the swamp would be so good.
that's
right,
on like
it's so perfect.
or Louisiana where you have like the swampy biome, but then you also have sort of a cityscape going on.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be good.
Like that's what I want to see. I don't want to see like the Capital Wasteland. New Vegas was all right with the setting because I like New Vegas, but beyond that, it
Yeah.
was mostly just desert. I want to see some variations. And I know 76 is set in the Appalachia area, but it's all too like vibrant. It doesn't feel like Fallout when I see videos of it. It feels like
That's
a
another thing
open
that
world
throws me off.
survival
Yeah.
craft.
It's one of those games that I see and I'm like, that doesn't look like Fallout.
I'm trying to keep up with everyone's here. Hang on. Oop. It's hard to do this on a laptop. And then Farah's was Halo. Hey, keep track of this. All right. That's a decent number 5. I'll give you that. Me again. So number 4 for me. This is kind of a hard one because I used to love these games, but lately. I'm gonna say the Three Kingdoms games, the Dynasty Warriors games. They started out kind of weird because it was that you have 1,000 troops on the field and like a single swing you can like knock 500 of them away kind of thing. And that was really fun as a power trip back in like the PlayStation 2 era. That was great. Even PlayStation 3, I'll say. Have either of you played the Dynasty Warriors games?
No.
I
I
think
don't know anything
one
about
of
Dynasty
them.
Warriors.
Man, y'all really focusing on your lists, huh?
No, I just don't know this game at all.
Oh. So what this game is, it's basically doing the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is like a big Chinese mythology thing of like their gods and heroes during a time of war. And you have people that are like Guan Yu, who basically is a god of war who can't really be killed. They choked him out behind a watchtower and stole his horse. Anyway, you're like pick one of these big heroes, and it's like the NPCs fighting next to you are just NPCs, but you're a god hero, and you have to fight the other god heroes commanding their armies to like take forts or fields. And at the time, it was really cool because it kind of had that like Star Wars Battlefront 2 thing where you can choose where to load in, and you'd have to go and get the capture points and make sure like all your troops didn't die because you didn't have a health bar. What it was is if you lose all of your troops, you lose. So you had to fight the other heroes while taking out their troops while defending your troops. But it's really just turned into smash the X button and you'll do all the special moves and you'll just win.
Oh.
That's it. Like all the combos, because it used to be before you had to do like the intricate button presses and like do the directions to do your big moves, and you had like a little energy bar. Now it's like everything you do is a big glorious move. At least the last one I played, it was very boring because that's literally all it was sitting there spamming one button until you get the end screen to get the next part of the story to go to the next fight. But it's the same story every time. It's based on the same like 10 battles every time.
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds boring. To
That
play
sounds boring.
over and over again.
Yeah. And it's again, it's one of those ones I used to love because on PlayStation 2, it was really cool to have like each of you have 5,000 troops and you have to go fight whoever their general was. And then like jump around the different parts of the fort to try to make sure your troops aren't dying. Now it's really tedious. Yeah, my number 4 is Dynasty Warriors. You used to be so good. You've fallen so hard.
Good to know. I'll stay away.
If you're gonna play it, like emulate an old one, emulate a PlayStation 2 one, because, like I said, those are still fun because there was more to do. They just started taking stuff away the further they got, which was really weird. Like, why do you take away features we had? Anyway, Farah, what is your number 4?
Number 4, Dynasty Warriors.
Hell yeah.
My number 4, I accidentally closed my list. So
Right.
Bum bum ba-dum. Bow.
my number 4 is Call of Duty.
You know, I 100% agree.
Yeah. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty when I was younger. That was like my number 1 game to play. And ever since like Call of Duty Ghosts and onward, they just haven't been very good.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, in theory, obviously the story is different every time. If we're talking like the story mode of the game. But it's the same gameplay every time. It's fucking war simulator. Just you shoot people and throw grenades. And then they were like, who plays the story? Let's just release only multiplayer Call of Duty. And I was like, oh, because I did play multiplayer against my will, but I was really bad. I like to play for like the story missions. So they had that brief period where they're like, let's get rid of the story missions. And then they did go back on that and they released story missions again because that was stupid of them. But yeah, I mean, if you like play, you know, team deathmatch in Call of Duty 2 versus Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3, It's like this. It's the same fucking. It's the same thing. It's just different maps. They just have different maps.
A lot of times it's the same map.
Yeah, sometimes it's the same map. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
always gonna be Nuketown. Nuketown will always be there. I got Call of Duty Black Ops 3 to play zombies, and that's nice because it has Steam Workshop support, so you can play custom maps. The base maps are just all the same maps, and I have the I can't remember what it's called, but it's a DLC that gives you like old maps from the older games. So it has some
Oh,
like
yeah,
Black
yeah,
Ops
yeah.
2 maps and stuff like that. And I mean, it's one of those games where I'll play it for a little while and we'll play on a few different maps, but it's the same game. Like you're doing the same thing no matter what map you're playing on. You're just shooting zombies and trying to live for as long as possible. And same with team deathmatch, same with whatever the game mode is where you like have to get to the last gun or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. It's just the same every game. But it's people love Call of Duty still. Like there's still a very active Call of Duty community. I just don't think there's a need to make any more Call of Duty games because it's just the same thing every time.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's kind of like Halo Online, the same idea. Like
I was gonna
it's
say,
it's the same online every game. Every time they release a new game, it's the same online every time. At this point, just make like do seasons instead, There's no reason to have a new game all the time. Just do
Yeah.
seasons, I think.
I agrees.
yeah, I haven't really enjoyed a Call of Duty game in a very long time.
Yeah, I think the last one I wouldn't say enjoy, but the last one that like I played that was decent was Ghost. And even that was like you could kind of see it coming where I was like, "Oh."
That was the last Call of Duty game that I didn't play. I played like games up to Call of Duty Ghost, and then Call of Duty Ghost came out, and I was like, "This is the end of an era."
Yeah, well, I
I
was
was
playing all
like,
the ones
"It's
up to it, and then I
Jover."
played Ghost, and me and my brother were both like, "Oh, oh, here we go."
Mhm.
You could like feel the shift.
Yeah, I was like
I think the last one I played was
contemplating
actually Black
buying
Ops
it.
2.
Black Ops 2 is the peak of Call of Duty, I think. Black Ops 2 is the best Call of Duty game, and that's not an unpopular opinion. Black Ops 2 and Modern
Yeah.
Warfare are both very, very popular.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare was
Modern Warfare is really good.
And it's the same thing as Halo. Like, they just peaked, They're never going to make another good Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I agree with that. So, Farah's number 4 is Call of Duty. Arva, what is your number 4?
No, I feel like our lists are gonna get a little similar and gonna have some overlap because my number 4 is also Pokemon.
That's honestly fine. We can have the
Yeah.
overlap.
It's Pokemon because I don't know, like I feel like they kind of peaked around Black and White. Because Soul Silver and Heart Gold are really good. Black and White and Black and White 2 were like some of the best in the series. And then I think it was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire after that, which were also very good games. But then after those games, it kind of started going downhill. I mean, I guess I know Scarlet and Violet's supposed to have a good DLC that's kind of redeemed it, but like I've played some of the newer Pokemon games like Shining Pearl and anything around that era, Sword and Shield and all that stuff, and it's like you said, it's the same shit over and over again, which is fine to a degree. I love Pokemon, first of all, before anyone kills me. I love Pokemon. And so I always played them growing up, and then I started getting to the new ones, and I don't know if it's because I grew up, but I don't think so, but they just became so easy that like doing that same kind of gameplay loop with the lack of grinding and like super easy boss fights and clearing the game like without any struggle just kind of defeated the purpose of going through that game loop again. there wasn't enough of like a reward for the stuff you were doing. It wasn't there wasn't enough satisfaction for the stuff you were doing in that game loop to like really keep me locked in to keep doing it over and over again in the new games. Whereas the older games, sure, you would have to do the same kind of storyline over and over and do the same mechanics and the same gimmicks with like slight changes here and there. But you had to grind for it. You had to have good teams. You had to make sure like the fights were hard. You would be stuck on like this one gym leader for fucking ever, and then when you finally beat them, you're like, "Woo! I get to move on," and then you get stuck on the next one. And
Yeah, the
a lot more
fucking ghost
rewarding.
one from the original game.
Right. Like it felt so much more rewarding when you beat a gym leader or any boss fight in the game. You know, you would have a meaning. You would grind towards it and put a lot of effort in, like you would actually do in real life in Pokemon. And then the new ones are, I don't know, they're just too easy. Too easy, and a lot of them have transitioned to the 3D style, which I am one of the people that prefers the like pixel art style of Pokemon. There's been good attempts at doing 3D art in Pokemon, and there's been very bad attempts. And a lot of the newer ones are just like trying to get better graphics, but the system literally does not have the power to handle it. So it's like an open world game with 2 trees and like 1 bush, and it looks like shit. I would rather play a pixelated game that had like actual backgrounds and designs and like world building instead of playing a 3D game that has like 1 tree in the overworld.
Same, actually.
Yes.
And that if you're gonna go 3D and animate the Pokemon, like actually animate them, because a lot of the like animated sprites for like the 3D Pokemon are very stiff. And I'm like, well, okay, I might as well be 2D and pixelated because it's that's just better, and then you could do better things without having to like run the Switch into the ground. Because it can't handle these 3D games the way you're trying to build them.
Okay. I mean, you already know I agree with that one. It's just it's the same thing, and it's not only the same thing, but it's blatantly the same thing.
Yeah.
Nostalgia only runs so far.
Yeah.
All right, so Arva's for Pokemon. Number 3. My number 3. This is one that I kind of had the thought of like a day ago because I saw something I had to look at. I was like, is this still going? And I found out it is still going. And then I had to be like, what the fuck? But my number 3 is Prince of Persia.
Oh my god, it is still going. You're right.
I also have not played a Prince of Persia game.
So the original. So I'm not gonna say the original because the original was like a side-scrolling one that I know neither of you played because I'm old. But even like a lot of the remakes or newer ones, it's just kind of that what's the word where they're like the enemies are telegraphing their attack and you hit the button to counter them and kill them instantly. I know there's a name for that. It's like the Arkham thing where they glow in the blue indicator above their head and you hit Y and you like counter, knock them out. Or like the Assassin's Creed where you hold down one button and you just hit the button, you parry instantly kind of thing. That was what a lot of the gameplay was. And granted, I haven't played like all the newer ones. I played, I think, like their reboot one with the new prints. And it was one of those, again, it felt like the same game. Because back in the day where it really made its bread and butter was you could run on walls. That was the main like gimmick of the game. And you could reverse time if you died. Like that was it. Now we have quick save, quick load, and every game lets you run on a wall. Pokemon will probably let you run on a wall here in a second. Next game, wall running. And the story was never really. It's weird because it's like there's a dagger that has the sands of time that you stole, and people want it because they want to control time. And at one point, you get possessed by a demon, but you control the demon. It was just really weird. Like, it didn't really make sense. In the reboot, it's like you're helping somebody steal the Sands of Time, but you're also the Prince of Persia. You're just really relegated to a background character.
Yeah.
It was a fun series, like 2000s, I would say. Those were entertaining games because the mechanic of slow time and reverse time just to get through some puzzles wasn't a big thing back then. There weren't a lot. Now they're fucking everywhere. But yeah, Prince of Persia is my number 3. I did not realize it was still going. A game came out just this year.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Really?
I had no fucking clue. I was like, is that what I think it is? And I Googled it, like, oh my God. Why are you still going? Who keeps
Yeah.
breathing life into you? Farah, you're number 3.
All right. This is one that none of you have said yet at all. Pokemon.
You know what? Fair.
I have it
Valid.
higher up on the list because I've never played a Pokemon game in my entire life. I never played it, but oh my god, every time a new Pokemon game comes out, all I fucking see is every single person on the entire planet playing the Pokemon game, and all I see is, this game sucks. This is so bad. Why is it not like the old Pokemon games? And I'm like, why do you motherfuckers keep buying it if it's bad every time? The last like 4
Yeah.
games that come out, you're like, this game is bad. I wish it was the way it was. Stop buying them! Stop! Stop it! I'm so tired of seeing this every time a Pokemon game comes out. As someone who's not a Pokemon fan, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. So that's why I think Pokemon should be permanently banned. The internet. I'm fucking tired of it. I already
Farah's
know
much
what's gonna
stronger
happen.
opinions.
I know what's gonna happen. Next time a new Pokemon game's announced, everyone's gonna be like, oh, I'm so excited. And then it's gonna come out and they'll be like, this sucks.
That is
And it'll
kind
be
of
all
the
of my
pattern.
entire Twitch feed will be Pokemon, and all of my entire Twitter feed will be,
Yeah.
I hate this Pokemon game, and I'll be like, I hate the Pokemon franchise. But yeah. Outsider perspective, that is all I fucking hear.
Valid.
So all my
not to
friends
mention
play
they're
Pokemon.
overpriced.
Oh, yeah. And also, what a bunch of losers for buying the same game twice. Losers! What are you
Right.
doing, bro? I should just get like different starters and legendaries. It's the same game, dumbass. This is directed at everybody who buys both versions of the Pokemon game.
Sorry,
Especially
Ty.
the ones that you can trade Pokemon across the games, because I know that some games do that. So you can just trade, like, to get the legendary from the other version of the game. So why are you buying the other one? Just fucking get some friends.
Get some friends and do
Get
some
some
trades.
friends and trade the legendaries if you really want to complete your Pokédex so bad. You fucking nerd.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
You fucking nerd.
I never had any hatred towards Pokemon ever in my entire life, but ever since I started VTubing, oh my god, the number of people that are like, oh my god, you need to play Pokemon game. Oh my god, play Pokemon. And then the fucking, every Pokemon game that comes out is bad, and everybody complains about it, and it's like, it makes me go, grr, I hate Pokemon. I don't hate Pokemon, but I do hate when Pokemon games come out.
Yeah.
I already know
I
what's
think that's
happening.
valid.
I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree. All right. Farah's 3 Pokemon. Arva, what is your number 3?
This was hard. I don't know what to put here because I know my number 1 and 2. I just don't know what I put my number 3.
You had all this time.
Why know I've been like sorting that out in my head, and I'm trying to think of like if I really am sick of it. Do you know what? I am gonna say them. I don't play them much, but I'm gonna say them. Both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Actually, more so Mortal Kombat. I don't think the new games are bad or anything. I think they're actually pretty good. I'm just sick of seeing new versions of them. Just straight up. I don't know. I'm also not a big fan of fighting games, so like I don't care, but like I see all these fucking fighting games and I see the new ones and like all I can tell that's different is the graphics and like a new outfit. It's same fighting every single time.
It is. It is.
Which I don't know. I just once again, I've heard the new ones are actually good, so this is once again not me like hating on them, but I'm just sick of seeing new ones because it's just the same shit. And some fucking nerd out there is gonna be like, I'm actually the same. Don't care. From an outsider's perspective, same game. It's like Pokemon. Same fucking game over and over and over again. Maybe there's a new story. There's like 1 or 2 new characters added. New graphics, same fighting, same everything. Why do we need this much? Why can't we also do more of those season things with those games too, you know? Release one game, keep it going for a little while, you know? I don't need to see a new fucking Mortal Kombat every few years. This goes for like any fighting game because there's so many fighting games out there that just like release a new version that's like slightly better looking, same characters, same fighting styles, same gameplay, revolutionary. Nah, I'm just being a hater, but like once again, I don't play these games, so don't take my opinion seriously.
That's me at Pokemon. I also don't play
Outsider's
them.
perspective, I suck at
We're
fighting
just
games.
haters.
I'm just sick of seeing them. A new Mortal Kombat comes out. Oh, look at this. There's a new one? This looks like the other one, just like slightly better. I'm seeing the same shit. So yeah, that's mine. Controversial
All
take.
right.
Someone's gonna kill me at the stake for that one. They'll be like, oh my god, Arva hates fighting games. Yeah. So what?
I also don't like fighting games.
Same. So it's perfect time to bring this up for my number 2. It's actually Street Fighter.
Yeah, me and Westy having good
It's-
taste.
It's the same things. It's the same game. It's the same move set, and everyone's like, "Well, no, because it's slightly different. Because now this character can grab." It's like, okay, good, they can grapple. Guess what? I still don't care. You're still
Like
playing
a whole
the
new
same
game for one grapple, right?
Yeah, like every character gets one new move, and you're paying $60 every couple of years for one new move. That could have been an update.
Yeah.
Like that could have been an alternate fighting mode, so they can each have like 2 or 3 different move sets, so people have to like figure out how to go against it and make more of a tactical decision. But no, just buy a whole new game. You get one new move. Congratulations. And again, I don't like fighting games. It's an outside perspective. I don't play fighting games. I hate button mashers. I just, with a passion, I do not like them.
Yeah.
So, sorry. I think
Yeah.
Street Fighter, very specifically Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat's also really bad, but Street Fighter really started it. Like, I know Mortal Kombat was like, oh, but it was, there before. It's like, yeah, but Street Fighter's the one that made it to where you could just juggle people endlessly.
Yeah, that's why I kind of
Like,
included both of them because they're guilty.
yeah, you
They're
couldn't do
guilty
that
as
in Mortal
everything.
Kombat for a while. If you got hit up in the air long enough, you would become like untouchable so you could get back up. You can't do that in Street Fighter at all.
I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, they know this one secret and now you're watching them play the game. Congratulations. You having fun yet? I hate fighting games so much.
Yeah.
I think yeah, and even I feel like the thing about those fighting games where it's like you're in a enclosed space. It's 2D face forward. 2 characters fight each other. There's combos. I just feel like every fighting game is the same. Like there's so many, and they all do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. All right. Farah, what's your number 4?
Ugh. My number
I don't
4.
know that one.
My number 4 is Pokemon. No. My number 4 is Assassin's Creed. Stop making Assassin's Creed games,
Okay.
please. There's so many!
There is a lot of
Yeah.
There's so many. There's literally so many. Oh my god. And sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're really bad. Well, actually, sometimes they're not good. Sometimes they're okay, or sometimes they're really bad. They're never really good anymore. The best, like, Assassin's Creed game, if you're gonna play Assassin's Creed, just get the Ezio collection, because those are the best ones. Same thing as, like, Halo and Call of Duty. They peaked, and they're never gonna get the same, like, they're never gonna make as good of Assassin's Creed games again, I don't think, ever. They, man, I liked Assassin's Creed a lot. Like, growing up, I enjoyed it a lot, and now I'm just like, it's just so samey every time. Like, the story is different, but the gameplay is the same. The premise is kind of the same. And eventually they're gonna run out of ideas. I mean, what was the one that people didn't really like very much? Was it the one that was set in Egypt?
I know that they didn't like that one. They didn't like Valhalla. I haven't played.
Yeah.
I haven't played them. I know everyone hated Valhalla. People didn't like the Egypt one. They said the one set in Greece was okay, but it was a lot of nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
and I know the same Black Flag was also okay.
I actually have a copy of Black Flag sitting right here because I got it for PS4. I actually enjoyed Black Flag, but to me, that's not a good Assassin's Creed game. That's a good pirate game.
Yeah.
Like the original Assassin's Creed, where you're like actually an assassin having to sneak through the crowds to get your target. It's kind of in the name, Assassin's Creed. Even the
Yeah.
second game, Ezio, my boy Ezio, I loved Assassin's Creed 2 so much. Had so much fun with that one. Brotherhood, train up your own little brotherhood of assassins. It was great. So yeah, I do agree with you there. It's just they've
I just
really gone off the rail into something. It's a different game now. It's not even the same anything anymore.
No, that's what I was just about to say. They've lost, like, the origins of Assassin's Creed. Like, it's not, they don't even fucking make, it's not the
I haven't seen
same.
anything about the new one, the Mirage one, so I don't know about that one.
I feel like the whole premise of Assassin's Creed has been lost. Like, they're just making, they use the same kind of gameplay elements as in all the Assassin's Creed games. They have the same kind of gameplay elements, stealth, same kind of combat-ish. But like,
I'll sign up.
the whole premise is just, that's it. That's like the only similarity. Like, if you took somebody who had never played an Assassin's Creed game and they played Assassin's Creed like 2, and then you had them play the one that was set in like Egypt, they probably would not think that they're the same series. They would maybe think they're made by the same company, but they wouldn't be belonging to some same series. Like, they're so different now.
Yeah.
I feel like they could just make a new, like, they could have even just renamed it something else, and people would have been happier about it because they wouldn't be expecting an Assassin's Creed game. Because that's where a lot of the disappointment comes from with the new games, is they're expecting that Assassin's Creed, like, classic gameplay, and it's just not really there anymore. But they're
It's
really
more like
milking
an
the
action
Assassin's.
RPG.
It is, and they're just really milking the Assassin's Creed name. They don't want to get rid of it because they know that branding is, like, people will buy an Assassin's Creed game, whereas if they make an entirely new game that's not Assassin's Creed, but it plays in the same way as the new Assassin's Creed games, people are going to be like, well, I don't know this series, so I'm not going to buy it. But they'll be like, oh, I love Assassin's Creed. And really, when they say that, they're thinking of, like, the old Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, they're not talking about the new because they even say, well, not the new ones. It's like, well, okay, well, this series still needs to end. You still have your old ones; they're fine. No one's touching them. But we don't. I agree. We don't need any more Assassin's
Do
Creeds.
not need any more Assassin's Creeds. There's so many. How many
It-
Assassin's Creed games are there?
I'm gonna guess 14.
What is your guess, Arva?
Mm, 12.
Oh, right in the middle. 13.
Damn.
Ooh, oh shit. Okay.
No series of video games needs 13 installments ever.
That's kind of
Or
wild.
if they do, I will say that can work sometimes, but like, eh,
Well, the thing, like with something like Final Fantasy,
it's different every
different
time.
if it's a different game every time. That's just the name,
Mm-hmm.
and they embrace that with their game. Like one of the Final Fantasies is a fucking MMO. Well, I don't remember which one it is, but
14.
yeah. So and everybody knows that. Like when you think of Final Fantasy, you're like, oh yeah, it's like an umbrella term for a type of game where the gameplay is designed the same way, but the story is completely different. None of them are connected to one another. Assassin's Creed was supposed to be a story that was like the games were sequels to one another, where they're like connected and they're supposed to take place in the same world and they're supposed to be connected to each other, but they've just like it's all fallen apart. Like, there's no
Yeah.
coherent story anymore.
They tried to hold it together, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah. It's not the same thing because Final Fantasy's like it never was intended to be that way. Whereas Assassin's Creed was supposed to be that way and it just isn't anymore.
Okay. I fully agree on the Assassin's Creed front. Arva, what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is now Call of Duty. Another recycle, but
Kill it! Kill Call
Yeah.
of Duty!
same thing I said before. Just too many and not needed, and especially when it's a similar thing to Pokemon, where like the more they release, the more the quality goes down, and the more that the newer games are lacking what the people want, or it's just repeating other things or adding new gimmicks that they don't actually want, or blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Same thing I said before. Peaks like Ghost was like the start of the downfall. Ghost was still okay-ish, but like you could kind of tell that it was gonna start going into generic territory of like generic shooter that's gone on too long. Hiccup. Oops.
Okay. Call of Duty for 4. Everything we kind of said before. I fully agree to the point where Call of Duty is my number 1. I think it's just gone on too long. The gameplay is all the same, but this update has this gun now. When if you pre-order, you get the special skin. Congratulations, you have the same game again. Like the gameplay is not changing anymore, champ. It's peaked. It's gone.
Yeah.
I haven't really been playing the story for a long time, but like I said, Black Ops 2 was the last one I played. That was fun. That's the thing. Everyone always complains about it. And even then, it's like, what's that one that's like just the battle royale? That's an insane amount. It's like 500 gigs. What
Hold
is?
on. Because that's the one that doesn't have the story in it. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, what is that one called?
Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay, Warzone. Like, it's just a battle royale. The game is not optimized clearly because it shouldn't be that fucking big for what it is. It's the gameplay's been the same for what, like 15 years now. Oh no, but now we have this gun and we can see through walls. Congratulations, you have all the skills of a fucking N64 game.
Well, I think Call of Duty was trying to stay relevant with creating a battle royale. I think people do play it.
Oh, I know people play it. That's the problem.
But like, that's not. It's like they'll still make the regular Call of Duty games too, because those are more popular than Call of Duty Warzone.
But
It's
that's
just the same game
the
every time.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's always the same. And now you have one that's the exact same as what they're releasing. Warzone is going to get everything that the other games get because that's their always online one.
Yeah.
So if you have that one, you don't need any of the other ones. You're going to get everything the others have. And people who are playing that clearly don't care about the story. They just want the battle royale.
Which I feel like out of all the battle royales you could play, Call of Duty is not a good one.
No,
It's
there's
not.
better ones.
There's way better
Yeah.
ones.
Yo, go play Apex Legends. It's much better.
For me,
If you want
when
good story, Titanfall 2.
yeah,
Oh, hell
for me
yeah.
when I play Call of Duty, I feel like the primary Call of Duty for zombies always. Zombies has always been Call of Duty's big thing. And then like second place is like team deathmatch. Those are like the two Call of Duty game types that people play.
Yeah. That is true. So,
Yeah.
Farah, what is your number one series that just needs to end?
This is I have like a I have an intent hatred for this series, if you can even call it that. But my number one is all of them. Every fucking NHL, NBA, FIFA,
This is so funny.
all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your number one
It's
too,
my
Ira?
number one too.
I hate them. I hate them so much. Oh my god, like we can talk about games that are the same every time, but this is legitimately the exact same game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exact same. They have not updated the graphics. They have not updated the gameplay. The only thing they change is the roster. That's it. That's it. Every year they change the roster. The graphics are the same. The gameplay is the same. The UI is the same. They don't change anything. They don't change anything. They repackage the exact same game and they change the roster and they re-release it for full price every single year. And people buy it every single year. And there's for every single sport ever. There's an NHL, there's a FIFA, there's an NBA. There's probably other ones too, but those are the main ones that I can think about. And oh my god, I hate them so much because oh my god, my brother plays them and oh my god, I'm like, dude, most boring game ever. Just to play like fake hockey over and over and over again forever for your entire life and then buying the new game every Christmas and it's the same game. It's literally the same. If you look at NHL, I don't even know what they're on. 16 or something.
An insane number.
They're on so many NHL game, EA game. Fuck you, EA. You're the worst. I hate you. You're like out of all. This is if we're talking about number one. I hate in terms of like game producers companies. The EA is my least favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
They're on. It's because it goes by year. That's why. Like NHL 24. What do you mean? It's the same game. Oh my god. They did an NHL 94 rewind. That was different. It was all stylized and pixelated. Good for them. All the fucking rest of them are the exact same. They've been doing this. They've been doing this since 1992.
Trust me, I know. I played those games back then.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
There
it's
is
brutal.
one for every year since 1992.
Mhm.
Holy fuck, and people will buy it every year.
Mhm.
Every year in the winter they release it. It's just like let's do NHL 24 versus 23.
I think we found her most passionate hate.
I fucking hate it. Like look, this is the same game. Look at this, the same. They maybe update the player models a little bit if like they have a beard now and they didn't before. They'll update the player model, and that's it. If you literally look at like the crowd is the same game. It looks like NHL 24. They actually did update the graphics of the game a lot, but if you look at 23 and 22, this is the same. Look at I'm gonna put this image, and I want you to look at his jersey. and tell me that this isn't the same jersey in both games. This is the same.
Yeah.
They
It
like made him
literally
look.
is.
They made him look a little bit older, maybe, but it's the same. Like they reused the same player model and everything. And then it looks like in 24 they updated the graphics to like look more realistic. Good for them. They finally fucking put effort, like minimum effort into their game. Congratulations, you disgusting garbage company. I hate you so much. Literally, there is no game on the entire planet that is the same game every year than all of NHL and FIFA and NBA and all of those games. And
Yeah.
the fucking obscene amount of microtransactions in those games. Oh my god, EA. Worst company ever for microtransactions. There's so many collector bullshit. Oh my god. It makes me so mad. Who are you? Who are you who is buying the new NHL game? I hate you. I don't like you as a person. Why are you buying the
Yeah.
new NHL game every year? Stop. They keep making them because people keep buying them. Oh my god. I have such passionate hate for these stupid
Oh, I can tell.
games. The same game every year. Like literally the exact same game every year. It's the same game.
So,
But-
Arva, anything to add to that?
No, I think those are pretty solid points. I was just gonna say there's literally no point of it's the same thing I said for like all the other games. Why don't they make it a seasonal thing where they release one game and then do update patches? Hey, there's a new roster out. Let's update into this game.
'Cause it doesn't
There's
make money.
But
no
then they wouldn't.
need.
But then you wouldn't pay $90.
Well, then you
Canadian
would, right? Because
every
they're
year.
min-maxing how much money you spend on these games. Because yeah, every single year there's a new fucking game. I never even noticed either. Like the only way I notice is like someone else will talk about it, and I'm like, oh, you're right. That does say 24 instead of 23. Because the fucking logo on the box is the same too.
It's the same. They just
It's the
update the
same.
year.
Yeah. Every fucking
year.
box is the same too. So you look at the games and you can't even tell the difference between them unless you just look at the year. And it's like, what the fuck? Why?
It's so
Why?
funny because no one buys NHL like those games, like the NHL, NBA, FIFA game. No one buys them except for the people who do buy them every year. No one like buys just one
Yeah.
at random and then like plays it once. It's never like you have to buy every single one every year or you don't buy any ever. It's
Okay.
it's like those people that are just buying it all the time.
That is actually a business model. It's the freemium model where you have like a phone game, and it's like, why would I ever buy like this pack? I can just play the game, and then you hit a wall and you're done. They're targeting the people who will buy that, who will buy the premium pack on their phones just to get past the hurdle or just to get like something special. It's a marketing tactic that targets a very small demographic, but a very rich demographic.
Well, and the shitty thing too about
Yeah.
those games, like, the number of microtransactions for like cosmetics is ridiculous, but it is literally pay to win because the good players are behind a paywall. It's so hard to get the
Yeah.
good players naturally. You can do it, but it's so much easier to just buy them. And you're playing online with real people, so you want players to who have the best stats because they
Yeah.
have in-game stats that make them better or worse. And it's like, oh, I want my team to be good, so I'll just buy all of the best characters. It's so stupid. And also, if you are one of those people who play that game, if you're playing NHL 23 and NHL 24 comes out, and you're like, well, I don't really want to buy it, well, good luck getting in an online lobby, because all of those motherfuckers are buying the new game, and now you have no one to play with.
Yeah.
That's honestly fair. All right. I honestly wholeheartedly agree with that. I kind of wanted to put them on there, but at the same time, I don't like acknowledging those games exist. So, I'm looking at the list here because we got, for me, Pokemon, Dynasty Warriors, Prince of Persia, Street Fighter, Call of Duty. Farah is Halo, Call of Duty, Pokemon, Assassin's Creed, and the sports games. Arva's Fallout, Pokemon, Street Fighter / Mortal Kombat, Call of Duty, and the sports games. Honestly, I have to go with just the passion. I'm gonna say Farah wins this because holy shit.
Yeah.
I felt the fire through the headphones on that one.
Dude, if there's any last time we did one of these two where we argued about like hatred of something. I think I won last time too.
I think
Because
so.
You have a lot of hate.
I was born a hater, okay? I was literally born to hate things, and the passion at which I hate is stronger than any other that I've ever known.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, with Farah being the winner, do you have a victory speech?
If I ever meet the CEO of EA, he's not safe.
All right, that's an official
it.
threat from the Unintelligibles, directed at the CEO of EA from Farah the Bat. Arva, do you have a loser speech?
Same thing. Count your days, EA. Scammy, shitty company. I hate you. Fuck you.
Worst
EA
ever.
stands for eats ass, and not in the good way.
Yeah. EA stands for a garbage, a trash.
Yeah. Ooh.
Damn, that burn.
Got him.
All right. With that, we'll draw this episode to a close. Thank you so much for listening or watching, however you're enjoying this. Make sure to follow each of us on our respective social media. I am Westy HCC across the board. Farah is Farah the Bat across the board. And we have Arva on Twitch and Arva_69 on Twitter. Thank you all so much for listening. And we'll see you next week when Farah's hosting.
Yippee!
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.